Alright guys, what's going on? We are back to do the deck analysis for Deadwalkers. It is a zombie deck that's very early, mid-game, and late game. It's just all around pretty solid. So we're going to take a look at it. Start off with 3 Gravecrawlers at 1. Can't block, but you can cast them from the graveyard as long as you control a zombie. So you're playing a zombie deck, you have zombies, he's good. Digraph is a 2/2 for 1 mana. It's really bad to draw late game, and the fact that we played 2 I don't like. But 2/2s for 1 mana, you just can't pass by. Even though they enter the battlefield tapped, I still think they're pretty solid. They get buffed with all the other zombie lords and stuff like that. So Vial of Poison is not playable. Here's why. 99.9% of the time when you need to use Death Touch on a creature, you are losing that creature anyway, especially in a deck like this. I mean, you can lose the Gravecrawler, and that's your best case scenario. But if you don't have the Gravecrawler to use the Vial of Poison on, and then, I mean, even in that circumstance, you're not even picking and choosing what you want to kill with it. You 2-for-1 yourself. You're like, my creature's dying, and I'm sacking this artifact to kill your one guy. So it just does not seem good to me. So we don't play this. Quest of the Gravelord is not difficult to get off, but you'll have the games where it just sits there, like, until turn 8, and by that time they've got something to deal with it. You don't play a lot of removal spells early on. And a creature actually has to die. It can't be pathed, it can't be discarded, it actually has to physically go to the graveyard from the battlefield. So, I'm not running my quest. Vampiric Tutor is amazing. Simply, it's ridiculous. 1 mana, search your library for a card, and shuffle your library and put that card on top. You lose 2 life. 2 life to be like, I'm mana screwed, I need another land, or next turn I have 6 lands, or I just played my 5th land, I have a land in my hand, and next turn I really want to cast a Grave Titan. You can do that, or I need to get my Zombie Wrath, and you can do that. So Vampiric Tutor is awesome. We don't take that out. Reanimate is amazing. 1 mana to bring a creature back from the battlefield. A lot of your creatures have very low mana cost. The most that you're usually looking at bringing back is 4. Other than that, it's like 5 or 6. And even that, sometimes you can just win you games. So definitely Reanimate, especially with the Dimir deck being in. The Dimir deck goes turn 1 land, turn 2 Ravenous Rats. You discard a Grave Titan, and you're like, cool, Reanimate Grave Titan. I lose 6 life, and I get 10 power. And they have a Ravenous Rat out. And you just win. Right there. Just win the game. Bloodghast. I'm gonna play Bloodghast. He's not a zombie, which is unfortunate. But every time you play a land, he comes back. He does get bigger with Mikaeus, and he gets Undying with Mikaeus as well, so it's just like really annoying. But when they're low life and you're like top decking, he's not a bad card to top deck. I don't like 2/2s for 1 mana, even if they come back. I'm just not a fan of it. If you really want to run the Vial of Poison, it might be a good call there, but the Black Cat's cool, interesting, but it actually has to die, so they're usually going to let it just kind of be out there. It might save you a few turns if you're trying to get to late game, but the zombie deck is just so strong that I just would rather not worry about getting the late game. But the discard at random is such a solid ability. I don't know if I want to leave 2 in here or not. I definitely want to take out the Walking Corpses because they're just vanilla 2/2s. Like this guy down here can attack for 2 on turn 2. This guy comes out and is a 2/2 on turn 2. Doomblade. This might be a risky call, but here's my logic on this. Jund has a lot of black creatures that you can't target. Dimir has a lot of black creatures that you can't target. And the Mirror has a whole lot of black creatures that you can't target. So there's 3 decks that I've seen a lot of play um, that you can't target anything in, or can't target what you want to in them. Slivers, they're solid. It's solid against, but you have Mutilate in here, which is much better against Slivers. Um, the human deck it's good against, and the tokens, it's not good or it's not bad against. But you have Mutilate. Like that's all you ever need. So I think 2 Doomblades is probably where I want to keep it at. Each player puts a creature card from his or her graveyard onto the battlefield. I'm not running Exhume. It would probably be solid, but a lot of the times I feel like if I've killed a creature, I don't want it coming back. There's a chance that, you know, if we keep in Black Cats, that they're going to discard a Baneslayer, which is what we want them to do. We want them to discard Baneslayers all day, and we do not want to let them get back a Baneslayer. So a lot of times it's going to sit in your hand and be a dead card. A lot of times it's going to be really good. So it might even be playable. You just kind of have to look at the field very carefully. It's a card that can either win or lose you the game. But if you draw it with nothing to target in your graveyard, or they have a thing in their graveyard, it's just a wasted card the entire rest of the game. So I don't think I'm going to keep him. I just don't think so. We have enough reanimation things in here that it's just a little overkill. We need to keep enough creatures that it's good. Sign in Blood. Target player draws 2 cards, loses 2 life. Perfect. You can use decks to keep people. Keep an eye out for my games, because there's definitely a Sign in Blood execution in one of them. It's a lot of fun. I love the Sign in Blood execution. Favorite thing in the world. Shrivel's only really good against the White Weenie deck, and that's assuming that they don't go turn 1, champion turn 2, put out 2 1/1s. So yeah, nah, I don't play that. Lord of the Undead is amazing. 3 mana to give all the other zombies +1/+1. Awesome. And the ability to return any zombie from your graveyard to your hand is sick. He combos very well with the Flashbag Marauders. It combos very well with Geralt's Messenger, Death Baron, whatever you want. Geralt's Messenger, 3 mana. They lose 2 life. He undies. They lose 2 more life. He's a 3/2 for 3 mana, which isn't bad. And not to mention they just lose 4 life with him being there. He can block. And he gets bigger. He's a 4/3 the next time he comes out. So he's awesome. I like him. Death Baron, skeleton creatures you control, and other zombies creatures you control get +1/+1 and have Death Touch. Not bad. He gives them all +1/+1 Death Touch, just like he says. So he stays in there. The Fleshbag Marauders, like I said, very solid card. He's a very, very angry Fleshbag Marauder, but they kill creatures, so you can use him. He combos very well with the Grave Crawlers, and with the Black Cats, and with the Geralt's Messengers. Just does really stupid things. We all know my feelings on these. As Soul Bleed at the beginning of the upkeep, the Enchanted Creatures controller, that player loses 1 life. Can't read. It's late. I'm sorry. It's the only time I get to record. It's like 1 in the morning, and I've been getting up at like 6. So this is for you guys, because I haven't had anything new come out in a while. Be happy. Anyway, Grim Return. You've got kill cards. You have creatures that make you sacrifice creatures. Grim Return's just a good way to be like, let me Fleshbag Marauder, I'll sack my guy. 6 mana. If you have 6 mana out, Grim Return, Fleshbag Marauder again. So that's really cool. And that's, again, another reason I'm not playing the Exhume, is because we just have so much creature reanimation. It's just a little overkill. Death Cloud is absolutely amazing. For 5 mana, they lose 2 life, discard 2 cards, sacrifice 2 creatures, and sacrifice 2 lands. It's hard for you to get up to your mana, but usually there's only 1 in the deck, so by the turn you draw it, hopefully you have more than 5 mana. You know, hopefully it's hitting them for like 6 and they're wiping their board, but it's just a really solid card. And it always keeps you with 3 mana at the very least. But Death Cloud can win you games. Liliana's Reaver is absolutely amazing. I expected to see play in Standard once the sets rotate. It's just so good. It's Death Touch 4/3 for 4 mana. Um, deals combat damage to a player. That player discards a card, and you put a 2/2 black zombie creature token on the battlefield. That's sick. That's like Jund's wet dream, if you ask me. Because my logic on Jund is 2 for 1ing people out the ass, and this is definitely 2 for 1ing people because you're like, you discard a card, I get a creature. You discarded, I got a thing. 2. You lost something, I gained something, and that's a 2 for 1. The Arbitrator Ghoul, 4 mana for a 3/2. No thank you. It does have first strike, but I mean, at the most you're going to gain 1 life. Anything more than that's probably going to kill him, and so it's too expensive for me. Undead Warchiefs are amazing. 4 mana to make all your zombies cost 1 less, and they get bigger. He has to be dealt with quickly, or you're just going to win. Endless Ranks of the Dead. You have so many things to bring back things that you just get a huge board really, really quickly. I don't like Grave Pact. Whenever a creature you control dies, each other player sacrifices a creature. It's not bad. It's one of those things that if you drop it with no creatures on the field, you're losing the game. Like, and I don't like to do that. Like, that's like, again, this is the same way. This is the same kind of thing, but there's at least 2 of these in the deck, whereas like this is just a one of. I mean, you could probably run Grave Pact and be okay. Maybe. We'll try and keep it in there. It's not bad. It's not good. It's iffy. Tendrils is a good way to get life gain. Mutilate wipes the board very easily. Consuming Vapors, always a solid card. You gain life equal to that creature's toughness. You're just like, you sack a dude, I gain life, and then it rebounds. If you don't know what rebound is, it casts the next turn for free. So if they have a Baneslayer and a Baneslayer out, you're like, Consuming Vapors, I gain 5 life, and then next turn, Consuming Vapors, I gain 5 more life, if they don't play anything. This guy is terrible. He can't block 5 mana. He comes back a lot, but enters the battlefield, target creature gets -2/-2. 5 mana for a 2/2, no thank you. Destroy target non-zombie creature. Again, I mean, this isn't bad, but it's not good in the mirror. 5 mana to return a zombie creature from your graveyard to your hand. That's just too expensive for me. We got enough removal. We got enough board wipe. We don't need 5 mana cost board wipe. Or creature removal. Not even board wipe. Creature removal. Grave Titan. Giant. Death Touch. Just huge. Scary. 6/6. Puts out 2 2/2s. 10 power for 6 mana. Awesome. I run Mikaeus, the Unhallowed. 6 mana for a 5/5 that has... I can't be blocked except by black creatures. And whenever a human deals damage to you, destroy it. So that's awesome against the white weenie deck. And then other non-human creatures you control get +1/+1 and have Undying. So all your zombies other than him get +1/+1 and have Undying. Awesome. Nightmare will always be a 6/6 when you play him. He has flying, but it doesn't fit in well with the theme of our deck. So I don't play him. Oh. Gravespawn Sovereign, 6 mana for a 3/3. I just can't do it. He has an awesome ability. You tap 5 untapped zombies you control. You put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield. But you have to have that many zombies. And if you're tapping them out, like half your zombies can't block. So it just doesn't seem like you'd be holding that many zombies back. You'd be sacrificing attacks to reanimate things. And it's just like, Zombie Apocalypse is one of my finishers. You return all the zombie creature cards from your graveyard to the battlefield, and then you destroy all the humans. So you just wipe out a ton of, like, against the white weenie deck and against... There's a bunch of decks that have humans, so it's a really solid card, I feel like. I'm not running Corrupt, it's just too expensive. We can't be running that many 6 costs. We have no way to excel to get up here. I which is another reason I'm not writing the Nightmares. Is 6 mana to get up there is just a little too much. The Great Betrayal's nifty, but it's 7 mana and just too expensive. It's whenever a creature you don't control dies, return to the battlefield on your control with a +1/+1 counter on it. At the beginning of the next end step, that creature is black zombie in addition to its other colors. So it can attack the next turn that you have. Whether they attacked you and you killed something, it comes back at the end of their turn, and you can attack with it the following turn, which is cool. But like I said, 7 mana is just too much for something that doesn't say I just win the game. Demon of Death's Gate, 9 mana for a 9/9. You may pay 6 life and sacrifice 3 black creatures rather than pay his mana cost. It's just, he's scary as hell. Don't get me wrong. It's just, that's a really expensive mana cost, and that's a really expensive mana cost. So I just can't do it. And then I run 1 Rise of the Dark Realms just because that one time that you're going to draw it late game, 9 mana, and just win the game. This is 9 mana, I win the game. It doesn't matter. Unless you just not killed a single thing on their side of the board. But, so let's look at what we got so far. We're going to get rid of 4 cards. So, what do I feel like's too weak? We have 5 1-drops, which is solid. 1-drop creatures, that is. 2 drops, we have 3. That's a little weak, but we got a lot of things to do on turn 3. Or turn 2. Turn 3, we've got a lot of things to do. 4 is our curve. This is where we cap. We got a lot of things that cost 4, though. Again, Grave Pact, like, it's going to get you into games that you're completely out of, but games that you're already winning, it's just, like, that'd be the one thing I think I would remove, would be the Grave Pact. But we still have 4 more cards. Maybe this is the card I want to get rid of. Like, it does really stupid things and gets you really out of control really fast. It turns 2 into 3, 3 into 4, 4 into 6, then 6 into 9 creatures. So, I mean, it gets really out of control really fast, and it's a good tempo card. So I don't think I want to get rid of it. So again, I think the Black Cat is one of the weaker cards in it, unfortunately. I really wanted to keep 2 in there. Just because, like, the discard at random is so annoying. But 1/1 zombie cats aren't. So I think that's what we want to do there. The Grave Pact, again, I just feel like that's what I want to get rid of. Well, I don't want to, though. So many things. 2 cards. What do we want our 2 cards to be? Tendril has to be in there. Absolutely. There's no way that you could take out Tendrils. I feel like 24 lands is very important because we really want to hit 6 mana. 6 mana is very important because it's these 4 spells here, and these are very core to our deck. This one's just kind of shits and giggles. I'm going to get rid of it. We'll get rid of that. We'll get rid of one of these Endless Rises, Ranks of the Dead. I feel like that'll do good. That looks real solid. So, let's go ahead and go over the deck then. 3 Grave Crawlers, 2 Digraph Ghouls, 1 Vampiric Tutor, 2 Reanimates, 1 Bloodghast. This is a card that you could easily take out if you wanted to because it doesn't fit in with the zombie theme. So it doesn't get bigger from Death Baron or the Lord of the Undead or Undead War Chief. He's just annoying. So yeah, I'm going to get rid of him instead. It kind of cuts our two drops really low though, but we're okay with that. It'll be okay. I for a long time wasn't running the Bloodghast, and I'm still not really a big fan of him. in this type of deck. Now, if we had more Bloodghast, if we had 3 more Bloodghast in this deck, I would run Bloodghast easily, because then you're like, I have turn 2 Bloodghast every game, and whenever I play a land, they come back and they do stupid stuff. But, so anyway, let's continue. We were at 2 drops, Doomblade, 2 Doomblades, 2 Silent Blood, 2 Lord of the Undead, 2 Jarl's Messenger, 1 Death Baron, 2 Fleshbag Marauders, 1 Grim Return, 1 Death Cloud, 1 Liliana's Reaver, 3 Undead Warchief, 2 Endless Ranks of the Dead, Grave Pact, 2 Tendrils of Corruption, 1 Mutilate, 1 Consuming Vapors, 2 Grave Titans, 1 Mikaeus, and 1 Zombie Apocalypse. So, if you're looking at this deck, I have 37 cards unlocked. There are 37 unlocked. And, if you don't know how to unlock those, I have a promo code video out with all 7 of the codes in the description, I believe. If not, there's a link to the forum page with them so that you can add them. And then once the full 40 card sets unleashed are out, we'll do another deck analysis for all the decks. But let me know what you guys think of the deck, anything you change and add, remove, and whatnot, and how you've been playing with it. You know, because I only played a few games online with this, and I like the feel of it a lot. It does some really stupid things. You can come from just a completely behind to being completely ahead of people, and it's just real good. So, thanks for watching, guys. See you later.